Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Hey Spuds, how's it going? It's Jamie, welcome back to another video, your first video on the channel. I don't know, but welcome either way. I'm very glad to have you here. This is the first video I'm filming in the new year, even though it's not the first video I'm posting because I took a holiday. Yay. That's not relevant to this video. Today's video is all about bad trans anatomy. I love looking at a bit of bad trans anatomy. It's a good fun one to have a look at. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's basically bad anatomy mixed with transphobia, mixed with people really just not understanding what it means to be trans, with a kind of overarching sprinkle occasionally of accidental allyship. Sometimes it's mostly transphobia and then just sounding really silly, so it can't really be offensive. But yeah, that's basically what bad trans anatomy is, and I'm not gonna waffle too much. I feel very rusty at making videos, so let's just get straight into it, shall we? Democrats don't even like women. They identify as washing machines, okay? So they of course wouldn't know how to do it. I don't know what it is. So apparently if you're a Democrat, you don't like women and you're a washing machine. Did not know that washing machines could have a sexual orientation, but there we go. This is bad trans anatomy because it's just a really poor trans joke that's like, trans people choose to identify as this, so therefore I'm going to choose to identify as an attack helicopter, or I'm going to say that anybody can just be this, that you identify as a washing machine because you are not transphobic. That's an interesting leap. Yes, huh? The ones that aren't he/she, him/her. I've never seen pronouns written that way, ever. All the other ones are gay. I didn't know pronouns worked like that. I never knew there was a link between pronouns and sexual orientation. Yeah, somebody's just gotten very confused between gender identity and sexual orientation. Pronouns have nothing to do with your sexuality. Yes, if you use pronouns that are they, them, or anything else that is not he, him, or she, hers, you are gay. Did you know that? I didn't know that. And then if you do use he, him, or she, hers, I'm assuming that they think you're straight? Have they just completely confused being a binary gender with being non-binary and compared it to being straight versus gay? I don't know. Our NHS is creating fake and unsustainable vaginas in male bodies. Oh God, unsustainable. I can think of a lot of things that are unsustainable, and that's not one of them. And forcing nurses to supposedly clean and service these aberrations of the human body. Our own wonderful NHS. Yes, trans women have access to gender-affirming surgery, including genital surgery, and there is aftercare involved in that, of which nurses sometimes help people in the initial stages of. I don't see this person going after trans men. Why just go after trans women? What about people who have any other type of surgery? People are just making things up at this point. No, they've been making things up for a long time, but this is a prime example of somebody potentially willfully just lying about things. But I don't know. Maybe they just really don't understand what goes on, but that's just a horrible description and just no, mean person. DNA can be changed. I've never heard this be said before. Normally it's all like, you can't change your DNA, and that's what it's all about. The extra X or Y chromosome is no longer there if transgender do full surgery by removing the male or female part that was there first completely. Hold on. The extra X or Y chromosome is no longer there. I'm assuming they're talking about bottom surgery. Are they saying that when trans people have bottom surgery, they'd lose a chromosome? Yeah, the surgeons just pop in, scoop it out, all gone. No chromosome, just one set of chromosomes, just wow. The body won't change back when you remove the male or female part that was there first, even if you stop hormones. The body won't change back when you remove the male or female part that was there first. Okay, so they're trying to say that changes will not reverse if you have lower surgery. Right, well, you're removing the source of the opposite hormone for a trans person, so things wouldn't change. It's got nothing to do with chromosomes. I feel like they're on the right track. They're trying, and it's not a mean comment. They just have confused hormones with chromosomes, potentially. Gender identity: male, female, agender, bigender, cisgender, gender fluid, gender variant, transgender. They tried to be inclusive. That's not how it works. That's not how gender identity options work. It would be like, you just ask somebody their gender identity, like man, woman, other, enter here. If you want to do non-binary as a separate option, you can as well. Please specify, would rather not specify. Definitely don't need cisgender and transgender under gender identity. I feel like I've seen it so much where it's been talked about a lot, where there's like, this is too restrictive, just having man, woman, there needs to be more options, which there does, because not everybody everybody identifies as a man or a woman. Of course, great. And lots of places get that right. But then there's that other end where people are like, we need to be more inclusive. Can't just have man or woman. And then they put every label they can think of, including cisgender and transgender, which is like, what do I put? Do I put man and transgender, or just transgender, or just man? I don't know what I would put here. It is the first time I've ever seen cisgender on a gender identity drop down though. I've seen transgender a lot, never cisgender. They're definitely being inclusive. Has any of the studies of HRT effects on trans identified individuals accounted for the placebo effect? That was a mess. That needed some grammar. The placebo effect on HRT, the trans people are taking. The placebo. Yes, let's just do like a double-blind study where we give half the trans men testosterone and half of them just a fake testosterone. You know, it's not testosterone. It's also not harmful, you know, just like they do on double-blind medical studies. And let's see whose voice drops first and who starts growing a beard. Yes, my beard is a placebo effect. Oh no, what do they mean by this? Since so many men think trans women are women, date them, marry them, have babies with them, okay? And somebody's commented, yeah, they won't do any effing cleaning or ironing. Is that what makes you a woman? Is that the epitome of being a cis woman? You can clean and you can iron and you can have babies? Like, no, that's just very shit towards all women, not just trans women. Trans women are women, no need for the quotations. And many men do date trans women and marry trans women and have children with trans women. They might not have children in the average way, but they would have children how a couple who are experiencing infertility would have children. And actually, I know of a couple trans men and trans women couples, so a man married to a woman, who date, get married, and have babies together. Wow. I don't understand this argument because it literally happens. Okay, so this next one talks about the service that J.K. Rowling helped to set up, where basically it's a woman-only service to help victims of abuse, but it excludes trans women. Very specifically as like no trans women allowed, right? And somebody called this out and was like, well, how are you going to discern? And also, is it really appropriate to be scrutinizing the identities and bodies of women who are accessing this type of service? I don't think so. And I agree. How are you going to discern? And also, why in the heck would you exclude trans women? There's literally no evidence that trans women are any danger to cis women, and they absolutely need and deserve access to these types of services, both trans and cis women. So why you're trying to exclude any type of woman from this service is beyond me. But somebody replied to this question of how are you going to discern between a trans and cis woman, saying, no need to interrogate. Chromosomal differences are manifest phenotypically. Humans, like all mammals, have the innate capacity to discern between the sexes. That's like the old transphobic trope of we can always tell, but wrapped up in pseudoscience. Like, I'm going to try and sound clever and scientific about it, but really what I'm saying is that I just always know when someone is trans. We don't need to interrogate people. I will just look and I will know. Don't know how I know. It's because you don't know. It's because humans do not have this really specific superpower. You cannot do this. No. I believe there should be no LGB with a T. LGB doesn't have a T in it anyway, but I see what you're saying. People in the LGB community are just like everyone else. Drop the T's. What is this, just like othering trans people? Oh, we're like you, us LGBs who are cis. We're just like you, straight cis people. There's no need to other us. But those T's, no, go away. That's what it feels like. LGB respect women's spaces. Don't steal women's titles. Don't have body dystopia. What is body dystopia? And not men pretending to be women. Hashtag LGB without the T. I'm very much a hashtag LGB with the T and T with LGBT. Like, why would you split it up? Trans people do respect women's spaces. Who's stealing women's titles? I don't understand this point at all. Trans women are women. If that's what you're getting at, you're very wrong. And what is body dystopia? I can't take it seriously that you've even done an ounce of reading into the trans community or what it means to be trans if you call gender dysphoria body dystopia. Like, I just can't. I can't forgive that. I can't look around it. I can't take it seriously. And trans women are not men pretending to be women. Some parents are claiming their 3-year-olds are trans, which is of course absurd. Some parents are claiming their 3-year-olds are cis, which is of course absurd. Why are we trusting cis kids and not trans kids? We also need to ask why the treatment is to inject hormones of the opposite sex instead of their proper sex. What? If a boy is feeling feminine, why is a course of testosterone not the solution? Because it literally wouldn't work. That is not how anything works. That's not how people work. Lots wrong here. Parents aren't the ones claiming their kids are trans unless their kids are trans. So it's kids who are knowing their gender identity but happen to be trans, just like kids can know their gender identity and be cis. Also, we are not injecting anything into 3-year-olds. Like, why do a tweet that is so obviously wrong to anybody that knows even a microscopic bit of information about trans people? It's just not happening that kids are receiving any kind of treatment that involves injections, and definitely not receiving any kind of hormones. Nothing is happening at 3 years old. And then this took it one step further. I have seen this being said so many times. It's like, why are children being pumped full of hormones when they're not? But also this is now saying, yes, let's not pump them full of the wrong hormones. Let's pump them full of what I consider as the transphobic person to be the right hormones. Why do they think they're any better? If a boy is feeling feminine, why is a course of testosterone not the solution? Because there's nothing wrong with boys and men being feminine, and nobody should be trying to treat that out of somebody. A trans woman or trans girl is not a feminine boy. There's a big difference. And injecting a trans girl with testosterone is not going to do anything, not going to do anything good, and will very, very likely, almost certainly, make them very miserable. Hayley Williams of Paramore reveals that she didn't know Kim Petras was trans. I thought she was German, she tells reporters. Is this true? This one's kind of cute. This is like a palate cleanser among the transphobia that can be about trans anatomy. You're not trans, you're German. Or, well, you're not German, you're trans? Oh my goodness. I don't know if it's true, but it's kind of sweet. Cara Delevingne has a male skull. She is a he. The Transvestigators strike again. Have you heard of the Transvestigators? I don't know if they're like a specific group, but it's just people who think that every celebrity is trans. And I've even seen the conspiracy go so far as to say that them being trans is the price they paid to become famous. Literally. If you think I'm kidding, I'm really not. And so this particular video has gone after Cara Delevingne's skull. Apparently it's too masculine. Yeah, this is my perception of what transgender makeup tips are like to watch on YouTube. The only difference is that I'm sure some of their ex-body parts have been and are being stored in boxes. I don't understand the first bit. Yeah, I pay $9.99 a month to store my boobs in a cardboard box. Wow. Nobody believes that. This is a joke. Nobody believes that. Yeah, $9.99 is quite cheap for that kind of storage, right? It's actually $14.99. Sex is gender. I can say I am a man, but I cannot have sex like a man. I have female genitals and am thus a female. Thus a female. When they say sex, are they actually talking about the act of, what other word should I use for it? An intimate situation. Coitus. Oh, that did not feel right coming out of my mouth. Is that the kind of sex they're talking about? Not the biological sex, like assigned sex at birth, male, female. So they think that your gender is based on how you have sex. That's a very novel take. I'll give it to them. This is new. I've not heard this one before, or not said in this way. Kind of impressed. I don't agree with it. It's very wrong, but cool. Well done for coming up with something new. Gender dysphagia. What is that? Is that a real word? Dysphagia is a medical term for swallowing difficulties. Okay. Gender difficulty with swallowing is caused by people in position of authority manipulating young impressionable minds. Every bit of this mess has been caused by complacent parents allowing this into the education system. Leave the kids alone. Please just read your tweets before you send them. Or actually don't, because then I wouldn't have this golden material to react to in videos. You were talking about an issue with swallowing, but you think you're talking about trans people. Again, I can't take it seriously. It's like body dystopia, gender dysphagia. I don't even know how to say it. Your difficulty with swallowing is caused by manipulation from powerful people. There's a lot of powerful people who are transphobic, actually, and it's holding trans rights back, and it's impacting trans lives quite a lot and making them difficult. There is actually nobody trying to manipulate anybody into being trans, and definitely not trans people, because we know that it's difficult and therefore would not wish or force anybody to live as a gender they are not. Yeah. It's not confusing, let me guess. You were on T first but had to be put on estrogen once your uterus began to die because your body needs both hormones. Your body would have both hormones typically anyway. Most people's bodies would have both hormones but just one at a higher level than the other, and that's not what happens. Sorry, you're wrong. I'm not sorry. LMAO, your comment about trans bras was hilarious. Thanks for that. Like, it's not in your size because you don't need one. A real woman would kill for the opportunity to not wear one, but you're so fragile about fitting in you think you need one to be a woman. To be a woman, to be multiple women actually, not just a woman. What was a trans woman talking about not being able to find a bra in a certain size, and somebody's been like, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to have a weird transphobic rant. I guess if that trans woman were a real woman, she would not want to wear a bra because that is the signifier of a woman, someone who does not want to wear a bra. Maybe they just need to wear a bra. My daughter's head teacher, what do you think? I don't know. I'm seeing sloped shoulders, short arms, thin wrists, short torso, long legs, and big gap between the legs. Hips and shoulders look the same. I really don't like this thing. What are they referring to as a thing? That's I'm not including the photos that they have just randomly taken of this head teacher. I don't even know if they blurred out the face. The copy I found has blurred out faces, but then the person who made the tweet's face is blurred, so I don't think that they blurred the face out, but I'm not even going to include the photos. They also said, in my defense, this isn't a good picture. In real life, I can see markers better than this picture, and he definitely gives me the vibes, but I'm still learning. I'm not an expert and just trying to figure this out myself. Whatever he is, I still don't like him. Very manipulative. This was on one of those transvestigator type things where they think that he's trans because of his torso and his leg length and the gap between his legs, and who has the time to scrutinise a random person's body in this way? Very odd behaviour. Friends of a friend just look at the size difference in facial features. His are tiny, hers are massive, and those eyes. Forgot to say she also pretends to be a surrogate. Again, not including the pictures, but I can tell you the pictures they've taken, the woman in the photo taking it is closer to the camera than the guy who is sitting in the background, so clearly there's going to be some size differences due to perspective. Why would it matter? Why do people do this? Why do people waste their time doing this? Oh my goodness. Wow, that was a ride. What did we think about that? I feel like the bad trans anatomy is getting worse. I feel like bad women's anatomy was getting worse. I just did that. Well, I filmed it before Christmas. I can't remember when I posted it. People are just coming up with wilder and wilder things to say, and I don't know where it's coming from. It's kind of scary, but also kind of entertaining. I'm not sure how to feel about it. But before I pop off today, I just wanted to remind you that today's video is sponsored by Squarespace, a powerful online platform for website creation. Connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content. Manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all on one easy-to-use platform. And it really is super easy and lets you do so much. So go forth and create a community using your Squarespace website. With features such as a fully integrated commenting system that supports things like threaded comments, replies, and likes. You can also make use of powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and even schedule your posts. We all love a bit of scheduling. There are also Squarespace extensions allowing you to extend Squarespace's already powerful e-commerce capabilities. These third-party tools allow you to manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, and ship items across the globe. Finally, and a feature that I particularly love, you can display posts from your social media profiles on your website. You can also automatically push website content to your fave social media channels so your followers can share it. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/Jammidodger to save 10% off your first purchase of a website domain. And that's everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Go leave your comments down below. Think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.